It's one of the only non-recorded meetings that we've got. So unfortunately, if you were not there, if you were not able to attend, you would not have seen the Pinelands Preservation Alliance meeting. You would have not presentation. You would not have seen the HopeWorks presentation. So I encourage you to reach out to both Jason and Luis at those respective organizations, and you can get the details from our website. Let's see, we've got lots of people here, 30, I'm going to say 30 something people here. For the people that are here, if you have not signed in, you need to sign in. You can do that more easily with a QR code. And Deepa, was there one other thing I'm forgetting now? We'll get there. I think that's it for me. So we're going to start with the meeting business and announcements, and then we'll continue on with our main presentation. I do feel like I'm forgetting something though. You guys have something in the chat that you want to remind me? All right, well, we're going to get started with Brian Embley from the State Office of IT.
My name is Brian Embley, Chief Graphic Information Officer, State of New Jersey, Direct Office of GIS. A few announcements from our office I wanted to share with you. Forum stuff, like Matt mentioned, if you're in person, we've got a new sign-in process we're trying out where we're doing a digital sign-in. If you're on Teams, we're doing a better job to try to capture that you're actually on the Teams meeting.
We have a little bit of you're too tall, buddy. That's the problem.
No, it gets taller.
So you need to, so step back and shout.
What is it? Which mic is it? Yeah. Okay.
You have a camera.
Can I do this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Feels silly, but okay. So we're doing some work to just improve our sign-in processes for the forum meetings. And this is good because we track attendance. That's good for the organization. And then when it comes time to have elections for executive committee, we need meeting attendance so that you can vote or run for the EC. And we always need volunteers for the executive committee. So next year we'll be looking for folks, and your attendance at these meetings matters. That's how you're eligible. So thanks for that. And also thanks to great events, really New Jersey's GIS conference every other year. So kudos to that group for making that happen again. Hopefully that can continue. And then a few updates from my office, the Office of GIS. So many of you use our composite parcel data layer. We have some updates coming probably after the holidays. We have updates where we're including the Mod 4 from 2023. I know it's the end of 24, but there's a lag when we get the Mod 4 from taxation. So we have the 23 assessor data, and then we have geometry updates, parcel line work for a bunch of counties. Bergen County, Camden County, Gloucester County, Mercer County, Salem County, and then a couple of townships. Egg Harbor Township in Atlantic County, and then Lincoln Park Borough in Morris County. So look for that in all the usual places after the holidays sometime. The Next Generation 911 grants that the state has been running, you may have heard me talk about that in recent months. So that application period is closed, and I'm pleased to say that we currently have 12 applications. 11 of them are counties and one large township. This is a big deal. 9 apply last year, so we're increase our number of applicants. And it's a big deal because not only does that money help, well, let me back up a second. So the grant scope of work is around providing consultant support to counties and large PSAPs to maintain road centerline data and address point data at the county level, right? So this is something most counties don't do, most townships don't do. They just don't have the resources. So this is giving them, well, allowing them to apply for funds to hire consultants to help them. And it's a 5-year lifespan. So all those 12 applicants will have, if they get approved, it's under review still. They'll have consultant support for roads and addresses for 5 years. So that's good for 911. So anyone in New Jersey who calls 911, that will help make sure that you get prompt service and support when you need it. And then the trickle down us GIS professionals is this is slowly going to get us better road centerline data and better address point data for all the GIS-y things that the rest of us do. So pretty big deal. That's more than half the counties have applied. So that's pretty big trickle down in my opinion. So that's going on. Like I said, the applications are going to be under review for a while before they're finalized. But that's the preliminary view. A couple more things. We've been updating a couple of our web apps that you might use. We have a couple apps that you can use to download LiDAR data for 2018, for 2019, QL2 stuff. And we migrated those from Esri's web app builder, which they're slowly retiring to the new experience builder. If you're familiar with those apps, the user experience roughly the same. And we did it that way on purpose. Just some back-end updates for us. And then finally, if you're a state agency on the Garden State Network, this is for you. Our office is soft launching our GIS portal, gis.nj.gov. And there's a couple of resources there that could be useful to you if you're a state agency on the Garden State Network. We have near map orthophotography, not the oblique stuff, the orthos for the whole state for 2023 that's out there as an image service. 6-inch pixel, and that's provided by DEP. Thank you, DEP, for paying for that license for the state. And we are working on the 2024 data. We have that in-house, and we'll get that out as soon as we can. And then also the parcel data. If you're on the Garden State Network, we have a parcel layer with the unredacted owner names in it. You have to be very careful with that for Daniel's Law, but if you're a state agency, you're on the Garden State Network, you can get these at our GIS portal, which is gis.nj.gov. That's right. So the Garden State Network is the computer network that connects mostly all of the state agencies. So if you're not a state agency, what I just said doesn't apply to you. But if you're a state agency person, it might be a helpful resource. So that's all I have. Any questions on that or? Great. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so we do have lots of announcements, and one of those announcements is going to require a bit of a tech up here, I believe. We're going to get some help, and we're going to quickly download a PDF for our friends at USGS who are going to talk to us next. The camera angle is tough on this.
All right, I just want to get her.
This was impromptu, so
Yeah,
this isn't an error. This is actually just live and in action. So
no, they're gonna
bear with us for just a minute.
Can we not show our screen right now? Yeah.
How do we
Go
do
to
that?
the meeting. No.
I'm gonna back away slowly.
Sharing. Whatever. Chair. Wait. I was gonna see like all of our OneDrive.
Your license 365.
Oh my gosh, this is not secure whatsoever, but this is the only way to get to it. All right.
It's a good test, though.
Yeah. All right. And then it's buried. All right, here we go. All right. Now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let me just get back to the meeting. Is that this one? And that would be the where to go? This one. Use a PDF. I just opened it. Oh, yeah. Where's this one? Seeing it. Okay.
Okay, so now we have Eliza Gross from USGS.
Hey everyone, this is Eliza Gross with the USGS National Geospatial Program. Thank you so much, Maya, for squeezing me in here with a couple of slides to update everyone on what's going on in New Jersey with the National Geospatial Program. So our data collaboration announcement. Our data collaboration announcement for our 3D national topography model, or otherwise it used to be known as BAA. It's the way we have partnerships with states. That was released back in August. The initial deadline was September. So our data collaboration announcement is for elevation data and deriving hydrography data from the elevation data. It's my understanding that New Jersey is focused on collecting imagery data in 2025, which is awesome. So the data collaboration announcement probably doesn't really pertain to New Jersey interests. So we're going to move on here. So just some project updates. New Jersey did apply for our BAA or DCA back in, I think it was 2022 or no, for 2023. So that would have been 2 years ago now. It was accepted and we had this 6-county project. It's a quality level 1 elevation project in the northeast part of the county. Consists of 1,410 square miles, funded by New Jersey DEP as the consortium partner with other state partners in there, and also by USGS. And this acquisition was tide coordinated along the coast. The flight plan is up there on the screen too, with the tidal line groupings. You can see it looks pretty complicated around the New York City coastal area in there. So the project was awarded and we had the project kickoff call. Data acquisition began in spring of 2023. There was an issue with some of the data and it had to be recollected in fall of 2023. And that was when the data acquisition was completed. And a lot of back and forth with reviews and independent QA/QC brings us to October this year. The last I saw in our system, USGS had received all the work units for this project from the contractor and was in the process of reviewing the data. So this project is running, I think about a year behind now, and the contractor's identified drop dead date would be March 30th of 2025. So we should have final data delivery by then. That will be at the latest. So we're hoping to get final data delivery before the end of March. The next project, so this was part of New Jersey's accepted project from our DCA from last year, the 4-county project. 1,629 square miles, also quality level 1 elevation data funded by that New Jersey DEP consortium, acting as the consortium partner for other state agencies. And then we also had NRCS as a funding partner and USGS. So this acquisition is also tide coordinated, mainly along the Delaware River downstream of Trenton, also a little bit of tide coordination towards the Atlantic coast. You could see that it's the red area indicated on that flight plan. So this project was awarded last spring. It was awarded a little too late to start data acquisition because we had a really early spring over here on the East Coast, and the trees were budding and the leaves were out, by the beginning of March. So we had our project kickoff call, I think like 2 weeks ago now, November 19th. Can't believe it's already December. And we're looking at data acquisition this winter of 2025. So hopefully They could get that all acquired pretty quickly in there, try and keep things on track. And the task order identifies January 31st, 2026 as a final data delivery date. But of course, we always hope to get the data before that. So those are our two elevation projects in New Jersey. I also want to talk about our 3D hydrography program, where we are deriving hydrography data, updated hydrography data from this high quality elevation data that we've collected. We do have a project in the state of Delaware, consists of 3,874 square miles, covers the whole state of Delaware. And we all know that watersheds don't abide by state boundaries. So this project has a contribution from NRCS to extend things beyond those state lines. So Delaware Geological Survey was able to fund everything within the state lines, and then NRCS and USGS put some funding towards the areas that fell outside of the state lines. So we've got areas also in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. So as far as the status on this project, it was awarded back in August. We had the kickoff call in September. The contractor's currently compiling all the data. So that really consists of taking all the different elevation acquisitions within this area of interest and making sure they're all mosaic together properly, and that it meets USGS criteria. So the next steps for this project are we're expecting to receive a project pilot next week. And then they're looking at the end of February, or by the end of February 2026. Yeah, I don't think that data is right. Or what usually happens is the project is delivered to USGS, 1 8-digit hydrologic unit at a time for review, and then we give the data back to the contractor for them to review. But we're looking at project completion by the end of August of 2026. So that project pilot, okay, so this is a zoomed in view of the portion that's within New Jersey. So it's in Salem and Gloucester counties, and we've got about eight 12-digit hydrologic units in there, or portions of them too. And so the pilot area for this project, the Delaware partners selected the White Creek Frontal Indian River Bay 12-digit hydrologic unit. So that's it's not a real urban area, but it's on the southern end of the Indian River Bridge. If you're familiar with, driving down towards Ocean City, Fenwick Island area. So we're hoping to get the data for that next week. And the contractor sent like a little snippet just to kind of show the project partners, we've got the existing NHD data, and this is what the new elevation derived hydrography data is going to look like. So just a snapshot, and it's neat that we'll have a couple of 12-digit hydrologic units included in New Jersey in there. So hopefully that will help with the any kind of conflation you guys want to do with state data also. So that's everything from me. Thank you. Yeah.
So the part that you're doing in New Jersey,
Mhm.
that is the southern part, what elevation data is that using? Is that using our quality level 2 stuff that we have? Or
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the part that extends into like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, it's that Hurricane Sandy data, I think, or
Can you repeat this question? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So Brian Embley just asked about the portion of that hydrography project that extends into New Jersey. What elevation data would it be using? And it would be using it's the DVRPC acquisition that was done maybe back in 2014 or 15, I believe.
We have some from 2018 as well. So, but regardless, I think Delaware had, what'd you say, like half a meter
Yeah, they have quality level one statewide that
We're not
they,
there yet.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
uh-huh.
What's dynamo? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a little bit of. Okay, so next up, we are going to hear from our Geo constituency group, Mark Gaddy, Vice President of the, Vice Chairman, I should say, of the Geospatial Forum here. Thank you, Mark.
Stand back. I'm Mark Addy. I'm with DBRPC. I'm the GIS Associate Manager. I have a couple things. I'm also the rep for the NPO and utilities. Regional authorities, sorry. A couple of interesting projects. One, I'll start with news from DBRPC. DBRPC is finalizing the renewal of our subscription to NearMap. DBRPC covers in Jersey, Mercer, Burlington, Gloucester, and Camden, and then Philadelphia and the 4 counties that touch Philadelphia on the Penn Sea side. So DBRPC is finalizing our renewal. We are sourcing it through Insight Public Sector via a cooperative contract, Omnia Partners in Cobb County. It's kind of new for us, but that is a Insight Public Sector is a business management consultant that serves as a tech partner providing IT solutions for public sector organizations. It's a way to save money, and it's how we partnered up with somebody down in Cobb County. As with our previous subscription, this one will be for a 5-year term. Along with DBRPC, authorized users include the 9 counties that make up our region and the cities of Camden, Trenton, and Chester, PA. Aside from those 3 cities, no other municipalities are included under our subscription. Here's from us. The other one comes from the Highlands Mission. Is Jocelyn here? Okay, I've spoken to you many times. I have never met you, but she sent in an update. You want me to just read it, or? Okay. In accordance with the affordable housing legislation that was passed in March 2024, the Highlands Council, developed a tool to assist fully conforming Highlands municipalities to account for Highlands Regional Master Plan in their build-out calculations. This allows eligible municipalities to potentially reduce their affordable housing obligation from what DCA published in October. I'm okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. That's okay. The obligation from DCA published in October by taking Highlands resources into consideration. Highlands GIS staff developed a premium ArcHub site with an experience builder map and helpful resources that allows users to edit Highlands build out data in an online environment without the necessity of prior setup with an Esri license or the conversion of spatial data to a flat data set such as Excel. The site has been set up so that each municipality in the region can only visually see and edit data for their own municipality. The advantage of this being a premium hub site is that it allows users to sign in and thereby define what area they are allowed to see, and for us to post all kinds of resources, including a training video, documents, and downloadable data. The council found that the process was advantageous despite some technical details due to the individual creation of logins and appends per user, but it's much preferred to the previous method of update, which consisted of sending out each town a CD of data through the US mail. You can reach out to Jocelyn if you'd like more information on the process. I will say too, since my responses I got when I put it out there was NPOs, check out the NPO and you know, councils like Highlands and Highlands. We're small, but we do a lot of stuff that is data heavy now, and it's a lot of it is web maps and applications there that just throw a lot of data at you that you might want to use as a resource. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, next up, we have Scott Costello for the state constituency.
Thanks, Matt. Hello, folks. So we have some actual announcements of stuff going on with state. So, oh, there we go. We have quite a few announcements for state projects going on, so much so that DP is going to have their own little segment. But I want to start off with a couple of things in the planning world. From the Office of the Planning Advocacy at Department of State, the State Planning Commission adopted the 2025 preliminary New Jersey State Development and Redevelopment Plan at their meeting yesterday. The approval will begin the cross-acceptance process. Cross-acceptance allows for the input of counties, municipalities, and the public. Requests for changes to the state plan map are made during cross-acceptance. All requests will be gathered and reviewed by the Office of Planning Advocacy, otherwise known as the Office of State Planning. So that's a big deal. This hasn't been changed in many years. To steal a little bit of DEP thunder, have an update from the Fish and Wildlife Group. The DEP Office of Fish and Wildlife Information Systems plans to release a new version of the landscape project on January 6th. The landscape project is a GIS data set that depicts habitat for endangered, threatened, and special concern wildlife species, is widely used in land use planning and regulation to guide land stewardship and conservation. Version 3.4 will reflect updated habitat data based on 2020 land use land cover, new species occurrence data, and species status changes based on scientific review that consider population levels, trends, threats, and habitat conditions. Let's see some other updates from our friends at New Jersey Department of Transportation. They plan to open their GIS open data portal in January. This is a big thing for them, and being able to provide a lot of their data out to the public more easily. Also from DOT, over the summer was released the 2024 edition of the official state map. So just some old school cartography stuff. You can get a digital version of that on DOT's website, or if you want an actual hard copy, if you want to get a whole bunch of them, you can reach out to Tom Rafferty at DOT, or if you just want a single one, there's a form to get that from the Office of Tourism. Let's see, another update from DCA. They have a vacant land capacity analysis data now on Engine. The vacant developable land analysis by housing and weighting regions used to inform the guidance provided to the New Jersey municipalities regarding a non-binding 2025 to 2035 municipal affording housing production targets. These layers are a combination of lands deemed developable by DEP land use land cover data as constrained by tax parcels based Mod 4 data, environmentally sensitive areas, and preserved open space, parkland, and farmland. Let's see, the last announcement for me is just a informative thing. The folks at NJ Transit are moving their entire GIS enterprise into the cloud with help from a vendor. But yeah, this is a big effort for those guys, and they should have some good results from that soon. So I'll pass it on to Craig Koutros from DEP for the DEP updates.
I'm Craig Koutros with the DEP Bureau of GIS database administrator, analyst, but mostly working on the GIS data updates. And what I want to announce today is that as of yesterday, this morning, we have re-released the final update to the land use 2020 data. I released it about a year ago, but we were omitting some key attributes you may have been used to. So this one now includes the impervious surface estimates from various sources that we had available. NOAA had provided us with impervious surface. So we're trying to use the third data source for estimating that rather than eyeballing it from a vendor. So impervious surface estimate. All of the water body codes are back in there. So the land use over time has migrated into being not just a land update, but a water body update. And we try to keep all the NHD coding in there the same as it was for the last really statewide download you get from USGS and HD. Also added a code for title, identifying the tidal water bodies, which now was always problematic to pull out the tidal water with bridges over water. So now you can pull out tidal water with all the bridges that are associated with that tidal water. Just one more. There's some source information in there where the IS data came from. So with the land is being released, we've subsetted out the wetlands. So you now can just go on our open data and pull in the wetland layer that's been extracted from that land use update. The water bodies have been pulled out, and the water body data that's in the land use is just for the 2020 update portion. We don't carry over previous 2015 data in that. So the water bodies have actually been pulled out as a separate layer, and in some cases dissolved or merged on some of those key attributes. Once that is done, I then have to go back and delineate, clip, intersect the stream network. So I did an extensive, pretty much 2-year update of the stream line work. And it's all coded so that when streams enter a water body, it's an artificial path. Any updates to water going under bridges in our NHD or streams layer, it's a connector code. So you could pull up just connectors, which are essentially culverts. Yeah, so 4 big layers, all released publicly yesterday, and you should be able to see them today. You mentioned the landscape project. So we do all the data review, getting it on the server, maintaining the version editing, the synchronization of the data, and putting it out there. And everyone in our group, GIS, gets involved, helps. Keith actually processed the fish and wildlife data for Patrick. We've been working with John Tarasky reviewing the LiDAR data, and we've been sitting in on the meetings, planning the 2020 imagery. As a bureau, we had over 400 data layer updates last calendar year, this calendar year so far. So we've got maybe 60 people editing 90 different layers, and we just push out everything through replication and either builders or other web map applications. So we're pretty busy there, and that kind of cuts into our time for getting the streams done, or the land use review, or the LiDAR. So you mentioned NearMap. We are contracted to fly statewide NearMap in 2025 spring. So we will once again do statewide, and it'll be made available probably June, July, for your group to repost. I know we just gave you the 24 6-inch. So
That near net license, that's not available to municipalities, right?
not our license. They could make their own if you license with Nearmap, my understanding is you have access to whatever is collected. And actually in your area, in Atlantic County, we had a group, in our coastal area, Tom's River, we actually flew 2 more collections on the Nearmap. So Cape May up to past Atlantic City. We did a summer collection and pretty much the whole tidal area, and that's available on there too. So you'll see Nearmap, when you zoom in, you get the most recent kind of stuff. We get our deliverables so that we can put them on our server and serve out just a spring collection. So we have 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and the 25 is scheduled. So those are just web services that we serve internally. So that coastal area, there was a summer collection in addition to the spring, and then also a fall collection for that band of Cape May and part of Atlantic County. So you're getting a little bit more. We're doing the same thing next year. So we're contracted to do those 2 areas again. Yeah, I think that's it. 3-depth, we're gonna start diving maybe into some of that when this northeast collection comes in. I have drainage lines and I've updated the streams based on drainage line products. We generated for DVRPC area, some of the areas we had QL2, but mainly just as a reference. We're not using it as a source for that data. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with this Delaware project. Right now, they're not accepting contributory data. I don't think yet. Everything's being done by vendors. So you need to contract with USGS through their Gypsy project or contract mechanism to have someone else do that stream delineation work. So we'll see. We'll have our first QL1 data when the northeast data comes in, and I think that's all I wanted to cover. But yeah, go get the land use.
Thank you, Craig. I think maybe you can come back and present some of that stuff in more detail about how it goes from pictures and dots to a land area coverage and a wetlands coverage and how they delineate the two. I mean, just some food for thought. As it is, we're always looking for good presentations and
Sure.
you're data rich. So
Anytime.
thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so now I'm going to ask if there's any announcements or other news, business that I may have overlooked, forgotten, or otherwise didn't consider. Okay, then we're going to get to our main presentation. Today we have U.S. Census Bureau and David Kraiker. He's going to give us the latest on our data. Do you need to do anything here? Is this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Figure it out. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I can tell you the camera's down here, so you don't want to cover that up. And if someone asks a question, we ask that you, that's what I forgot to mention earlier, ask that you repeat the question so everybody online can hear it.
Just.
You're going to. Thank you so much.
It's this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What,
Just. Want me to just make it full screen?
Yep.
Just make it full screen. And then, alt tab to switch to the browser.
Alt tabs.
Oh, so it's empty. Share has to go back. Share the moment, sorry.
It's okay.
There we go. Yeah, they can see, and that's being shared right now.
Okay, that's,
So just hit the, full page mode and you'll be good to use.
yeah, that's the other one.
Oh, it went on to that screen.
It's one that looks like that. It's actually-
Yeah, I mean, it's being seen as there, anyway,
Okay.
so you can just.
Okay, hello, everybody. My name is David Kraiker. I am a data dissemination specialist at Census Bureau. And I cover New Jersey and Connecticut. I don't know if you picked this up coming in, the QR codes for some of the things we're going to look at today. I just want to let everybody know that,
No, you're good. Keep going. I
Sure.
just want you to remember that the camera's there
and you want
and
me
we're
to
seeing you like here. So
okay,
you just back up just a little bit.
back up a little bit. Okay, I'm glad I wore
Sorry.
this plaid shirt and I seem like I'm out hiking somewhere. So I did distribute this. They're out there. I just want to let you know the first QR code isn't working. It's not working this morning. It might be working this afternoon. But if you do want to sign up for this, what's called What Exit, it's just a hour virtual presentation I'll do in a couple of weeks. It's just about New Jersey and the different geographies for New Jersey. You're welcome to sign up for that. You can email me and I'll just send you an invitation if you want to go. You know, old-fashioned method, email me and I'll just send it to you. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few updates today. Some presentation, a little bit of a presentation. First thing I'm going to talk about is something called grids. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of a refresher of the difference between American Community Survey and decennial information. A refresher on Explore Census Data. That's our primary data portal. And also on geographic files, just where to get them and what we have there on our website. And then we'll also just look into the narrative profile a little bit, just so you know what that is. So let me just start with grids. See that. So we do have this project going on at the Census Bureau, and they've decided, or we've decided, that we need something that's a little bit more stable sometimes to release numbers. So we are developing this thing called grids, and I'm not really sure whether they're going to go with hexagonal grids or square grids, but to create this thing called gridded data. And the advantages are that it's uniform in area. It's very consistent and unchanging over looking through an area over time, and easily integrated with other gridded data. Yes.
Sorry, the slide's not changing on the.
Oh. This is the Office of Information Technology, right?
No.
Yeah, right. Correct that. Oh, of course it is Teams.
Directly.
Oh, we do? Oh, yeah, anything to fill a suitcase, yeah.
Just like my
You can get
presentation,
to it.
just try closing this out. This is it, right?
Yeah. No.
Nope, that's not it.
So the date is Maya, not the.
Yeah, mine is where the files. Yeah, I had to close it in. No, it's on desktop. Okay. Good.
Right, is the-
Yeah, it was just sticking. It was not letting me switch to it. So now,
Advance those slides.
okay, so that's good.
Oh,
Then,
we use that. Time.
Yep.
So, yes. Okay, so we just want to.
so let me just turn the sharing back on. Sharing the screen. So yes, there's a recorder around there. You're good? Okay.
Good.
All right.
Okay,
So this is what they're seeing right now. That's the next slide. Let's
that's
go
the next slide. Okay,
at that.
so. So we are going to talk about grids. I'm going to give you a little refresher here on the difference between American Community Survey, ACS, and decennial. And explore census data. We'll look at that website and geographic files. I'm going to just show you that on our website as well, just as a reminder. And then we'll look at narrative profiles just a little bit. That might help you at some point. Okay, so let's talk about grids. Census Bureau is, at least the geography division, is looking into creating this type of statistical unit that data can be released at. And when I say data, I think at this time it's just sort of the basic population or population per square, whatever it is. So we would be putting out gridded data products. It would be sort of a standard annual public release. And the advantages are that we view this as being uniform in area, consistent and unchanging over time, and you're looking at pictorially, right? And it's easily integrated into other sort of gridded data if you wanted to look at an image. And it's sort of stable work unit, so they're all the same size. So if you're ever using census tract data, even though population-wise are kind of equal, you notice that census tract some can be just huge in areas, some are small. So that is confusing to certain people. So that I think we're trying to put together this grid idea. Here's just another image here, just showing you how things change over time. It's a little bit easier to look at sometimes. So I did give you on the sheet, if you picked it up, there is, I think on the back, a QR code, and it takes you to a whole scientific session they had talking about grids and the advantages of it. So the Census Bureau is just moving in this direction as just a supplement to what we do already. Okay, so this is sort of a reminder. I'm just talking about this because what happens to me all the time, people seem to know what the decennial census is, the 10-year census, but they don't know what American Community Survey is, or they get confused what data is available in American Community Survey and what's available from the decennial. So I just have a couple slide reminders here. So let's just think about this, like the 2020 census, the data is 100%. Okay. How many people we consider how many people we're focusing on how many people live in the United States, so it is a head count. It was based on a point in time, April 1st, 2020, during the COVID years. And we're looking for just really a count. So counting people and housing units, and a little bit more than that, but not much more. I think we only had 7 questions on the form, so we can't really get a lot of data out of that. As opposed to American Community Survey over here on the right, which is sample data. So we're not really counting everybody, but we're statistically getting a sample and applying it to the full population. We're not concerned so much with how many people, we're concerned with how people live in the United States. So we are asking really deep questions. If you didn't know, the American Community Survey is based on not a point in time, but 2 months. So we arrive at somebody's house and we say, have you lived here for the past 2 months? And if they say, no, I just moved in last week, we say, you're out of scope, you don't get counted. Okay, but if they say, yes, I've been here for 5 years, we say, you're in scope. We are now going to open up the survey and ask you the questions. We are looking for income, poverty, education, housing, all sorts of sort of deep information. In fact, 72 questions.
Very quickly, do you know what the size of the grids is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that. That's why I gave you the QR code, so if you want to look at that. I think it's still kind of under development though. Yeah. So just on the right, just so you know what it looks like, I didn't repeat the question. Question is, I'm sorry about that. Do I know what the size of the grids are? And I said, no, I don't know. I think it's still under development. Okay. Yeah. Okay, ACS, just want you to see what the form looks like. If you get this online, if it comes to your house and you get a little card, it says you've been selected, the best thing you can do is just do this online. Just do it on your phone. They give you a code, just go through it as quickly as you can. Anyway, annual sample, 3.5 million addresses, not necessarily people, addresses. Data collection method is we send you that card, we send you a letter, and if you don't answer, we send you this huge form. And if you don't do that, somebody comes to your house. Once again, 72 questions. It fluctuates a little bit. Sometimes it could be 71, sometimes a little bit more. But in general, 72 questions. And then the key here, for those of us in New Jersey, 1 year and 5 year data. 1 year data is for geographies over 65,000 in population. So for example, large counties like Essex County, Newark, Jersey City, they can get data just for the whole entity every year. They can get that in September. But for most of the time, you're looking for 5 year data, you're looking for census tract, or you're looking for your municipality. You need, 5 year means it's an average over 5 years. And then in December, we release the data every year. Okay, so you can get it every year, but it's a compilation of the past 5 years. So today is the day that we release the 2023 5 year data. It probably is being put up in the system right now, but probably by the end of this afternoon, you can go in and get it if you need to look at it for census tracts or smaller community or CDP or something of that sort. So ACS, that's just the reminder of what it is. Usually the data people are looking for is ACS data and not necessarily that decennial data. So I just want you to be aware of that. All right, I will, in a few minutes, I'm going to go in. I don't know how I'm going to juggle the microphone and show the website at the same time, but I'll figure it out. So we're going to look at data.census.gov. And we also call it Explore Census Data. I just want to show you how it works a little bit. And I will show on the 17th, when I do that other presentation, I will really go into this a lot more. But this has data going all the way back to the year 2000. This is our main data portal. It has multiple surveys in there, not just ACS, but it has decennial and other things. But I will say we do ACS and decennial are the two things that we put in this data portal, and it works really well. So I just want to say that that's really what that is good for. Maybe that's not the best way to say that, but and then I will show you this, the narrator profile. This is just something we can do on our phone. And it is very friendly. It is not copyrighted. It is written. It's data that's written out for you. I know as GIS people, we don't really do that, but you could someday be, producing a map or a document and you want it written out for you. You don't just want chart format or a gridded format of data. Maybe you just want to copy this and paste it if you want to use it that way. So I'll just show you that really quickly. And last thing I want to do is just give you my contact information. So this is the time when if you don't have my email address, when you want, just take a photo of that. And you're free to contact me and I help you as best I can. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do is go to the live website. I think I'm going to have to punch over.
Slides.
just to the left. Yeah, done with this.
Done with
I'm
this.
done with the slide.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do that.
I should turn the camera off.
I can do that.
Okay, we're just gonna turn my camera off because I'm hunching over this. People don't need to look at my neck. Right, so let's see if we can do this. Okay, what do we have up here? Okay, let me do this. They never do this for tall. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, all right, so let's go up here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go here. That worked. Okay. First thing I'm going, okay, so, yeah, okay. Okay. All right, yeah, sure. Before I go into those two other sites, I just want to remind you, if you come over here to topics, and you come down here to geography, if you haven't done that before, this is where you get your geographic files. So let me just scroll down a little bit here. So the first thing you're going to have is down here your mapping files. So some people are certainly looking for the tiger line shape files. They're right here if you wanted those. And I believe if you come over here, you can get them by FTP or sort of an inner web-friendly browser kind of thing. Let me see. It's not. Yeah, you get the web interface or the FTP if you want to go that route. So you can get those tiger line files if you want that. Let me just go back. Personally, I used to have to do a lot of mapping. The cartographic boundary files were my favorites. I don't know if they are for you. They are really low memory. If you already have your base map and you're just sort of popping census data into that or whatever else you need, I tend to find that these are a little bit more user friendly. You just have to make sure you know the scale that you're using. And it doesn't have to really be one of these scales, it could be something in between. But anyway, these are here. They are easier to work with our data, to pull our data into these, if you want to go that route. So cartographic boundary files are here, just as a reminder. Let me go back. And I'll move this down a little bit more. And then we also have, there it is, the geodatabase files. If you want those, they're right here as well. Geodatabase files, I just want to alert you that they are put together after the data is released. And so they could take a few months, probably like 4 or 5 months into the new year before they're released. So sometimes they're a little bit behind, but it just depends on how quickly you need that data. So these three things are here if you need those, okay? All right, and just some advice from our geography people is that they do sort of recommend that if you're using this currently all the time, these are actually being updated every year and maybe to your advantage to grab the new files, whichever ones you're using each year. And the reason is coastal areas are changing. And so we're always sort of changing our coastal areas to accommodate that. And so my contact at our headquarters thought it would be better if you have the time and you have the resources, you might want to download the new files each year. Okay, so I'm going to sort of pivot away from this. And I will go, and hopefully data.census.gov is working today. We are loading it with new data. Kind of an odd thing. The Census Bureau always likes to load data into portals and things like that on Thursday mornings. I'm not kidding. It's like a tradition. It's like, why do we vote what's the first
on Tuesday in November. I don't know, it's just something we've done all the time. So, okay. So I always like to say to people, when you get here, the key to this, I don't know if you've ever really used this. I'm sure many of you have, but just a little refresher. The key to this is actually advanced search right there. And then over here are your filters, and they're all open. Okay, and so I'm just closing them just so you get a feel for what's here. And the main ones that you need are up here. I would say year and geography are the two things you need to get yourself going. The 2023 data probably will be good to go by the end of today. But right now, I'll just stick with the 2022 data. And I will just define my geography. Just to show you what you can do with this. You can certainly just grab one thing if you want to, but you can also grab many things. So for example, census tract here, I'm defining my unit of analysis, I'll call it. I come back here to New Jersey and I say, okay, well, let me look at everything for Mercer County. So I grab that, Mercer County, and I say, okay, I want all the tracts in Mercer County. So I let the system know. So that's one thing you can do with this. You don't have to take one thing at a time. You can take many. And then I'll close the year. And then this is what you can do. You come to either the survey or the topics. I'm going to go to survey, and I'll go to American Community Survey. And I know it's 5-year data. I know we have these things up here. Data profiles are the Walmarts of tables. You can just grab one of those. You can say they have a lot of things in there, but they never really delve into any one topic at one time. And then up here, you click on tables and it shows you what's available. You are window shopping now. And so these are the four main, I'll call them tables or entrance ways into the kind of data that we have. And over here on the right is the table, and it just starts with census tract 1, and it's going to the right. I'll just click on something different, social characteristics. So you see that. And let's see if that opens. It may take a little bit of time. So here it is. All sorts of things about marriage and families. And as I scroll down in this table, you can see, who's the head of the household, that sort of thing. It goes down about fertility rates, grandparents living at home, school enrollment, educational attainment, veteran status, disability. Anytime you see something that's in capital letters here, it means that there are other tables somewhere else that really delve into that one topic. Okay. Place of birth, if you're looking at that, you can do that as well. Okay, so all sorts of things as we go through one of these tables just to see your U.S. citizenship. By the way, people think we do ask that question on the American Community Survey, are you a U.S. citizen? And if people say yes, we say, were you born here or are you naturalized? And then they tell us whatever, and then we just keep moving on. We don't really go the other direction with that. But this is sort of to help us figure out how many people potentially can vote. Okay. So this is just one table here, kind of the information that you can grab from that. But I do want to show you over here on the right. I used to have this problem. You can map it. So I used to have, I know things have changed with ArcGIS if you're using that, but I like this because I can see what the variable will look like mapped before I actually pull it into the GIS. It just is a little bit easier here to deal with it. And then you just click on this arrow and you can pivot between a percentage or a number if you wanted to. So we'll just look at a percentage and you can sort of come down here and let me see what we have here, sort of some options. So percentage of people who are never married. We'll just look at that. Okay, and so it's actually mapping that for the county core pleth map. And you can sort of look around and see what's going on. You can click on a census tract right there. And that's probably where there's a university. But you can do that. You can change the base map a little bit, not too much. But if you wanted to look at that, you can kind of get a feeling for what's going on. The colors, there it is, right here, color right there. If you want to make it more transparent so you can see what's happening underneath, you can do that. And then if you need to fool around with this with the the histogram. There is a histogram here. You can drag it around and you can see what's going on. Maybe you want to isolate something, you can do that as well. So there is the histogram here. You can play around with it. So you can do all this before you pull it into your GIS in case this is easier for you. You can only map one variable at a time here. And then if you like it and you want to give it to somebody, you can come up here and grab that URL, copy, and paste it, and send it to them. And when they click on it, it opens the map for them. Okay, so you maybe don't. It's up to you, but maybe this is a quick answer. Sometimes I used to have to do things for people in my office. I didn't have time to produce an elaborate map, and so I try to give them a quick answer sometimes. So you can do that if you want to do this, use this method here. And I think we sort of have a GIS, I'm sorry, gain over here. Okay, if I go back to the table, so you can pivot back to the table right here. And by the way, we are going to put a new tab up here called charts. And so if you wanted to chart different kinds of charts and graphs and things using this data, you will be able to do that. So that's forthcoming, I think, in the next few weeks. And then you also can use this API tool over here on the right, or want to do that. I'm not a great person with API, but if you wanted to copy the link and then sort of pop it into a new tab, let's see if I can do that. I don't know if I can see up there, control. It should look like a whole bunch of data that you see up there. So you're going to see all your API codes if you needed those, or maybe just pulling one thing. So let me just go back over here. And okay, so this is just so you get an idea what data.census.gov is all about. You can go in there. If you want to clear this out, you just click on the logo up here and you're back to square one. Okay. And so you can do things like that. Have people used this already? This sort of data? Yeah, okay. I should say, let me go back to advanced search, or if you made a mistake, you can just hit back, say, let me go back one more. There it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's what I needed. And so here's the data right here. The same thing that I had before, right? If I go to map, I should show you this, I think. Let's just say you're working on something and this is what you want, but you say, oh, I need a little bit more up here along the Delaware River. You can actually grab this little select tool and you can add to this and just draw a square through whatever you want, and it will pop it in there. And so it puts it into the, there's something right there. Let's see if I get that. Yeah. Yeah. And it will add it to the table. Okay, and your data grouping that you have there, and you can download this table if you want to. And then if you are downloading the data, you need to use Chrome, and you need to, let me just show you here. Sorry, let me go back to the table. You need to use Chrome, and you need to use the zip. Okay, and the zip will give you your geo IDs, okay, your coding that you need for your GIS. If you use other things like CSV or Excel, you may get the geo IDs, but there's no guarantee there. So you do need to do that using the zip and within Chrome, okay, and you should get what you need. The other thing that's kind of funny about that doesn't mean that your geographic identifier codes that they're necessarily at the beginning of the table. They could be somewhere mixed into the table. So I just want you to be aware of that. Okay, so anybody want to ask me any questions about this or give me a challenge while I'm here? Yeah, okay. So let's go over here. So share, you can grab the share right here and you grab that URL, you copy and paste it and send it to somebody and the map will open for them. Okay, you can do that with it. Yeah, it's the same. I have to tell you the truth. I've had better luck just copying the URL and sending it than using the share button. Sometimes the share button doesn't seem to work for me, but the URL will always work. Okay. The other thing is if you're ever reading these URLs up here, this is pretty, okay, over here it says ACS DP5. I don't know if you can see that up here at the top. And it has the year. Once you copy and paste this into something, if you need to change a year, you say, oh, I don't need 2022, I need 2021. You can just backspace and change the 2 to a 1. And here, yeah, let's just do that now. No, it's okay. It's okay. We'll just try that. Let's see, backspace 1, and let's just enter. I don't know if it will change the map or the table. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Yeah. So you can go back in time if you want to do that. You can change it. Okay. So that is the advantage of the URL, I think. Anything else before I go on to the narrative profile? I don't know. Is there anything in the chat? Anybody asking questions from the virtual world?
Planner friend Elaine said.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I know who that. Okay. All right, so let's do this. I'll sort of change where I am. I'm going to show you something let me just, since it's in narrative files. Do that. So I just did a sort of a search and I gave you the QR code to this. So this is called the narrative profiles. I know as GIS people, we don't necessarily use it this way, but I think it is kind of a handy tool to have. And it works really well on a phone. We'll do a little exercise on the phone. But if I were to come over here to 2022, a lot of people just want this kind of information, or you may want to put it into a report along with a map. So let's just say we're looking for, we'll just say, well, New Jersey, the code word is county subdivision, and that means municipality. So we'll come down here. What did it got turned off? Uh-oh. All right, New Jersey. And we're going to come down here. We'll come to Mercer County. And it gives me all the municipalities in Mercer County. I'll just select, Princeton. Let's try Princeton. Okay. Okay, and then we come down here and we say get the narrative profile. And it usually takes about 20 seconds. And what it does is it gives you it always gives you the 5-year data. It does not give you 1-year data. And it's going to give you this really long narrative about all what we consider the best of the best. What people look for most. So you're getting these charts and you're getting the data is written out for you. So some people do like that. Especially people doing grant writing, they want to get this, but sometimes people want to put these into reports. The other kind of funny thing here is if you were looking at this and you say, okay, well, I can't remember how data.census.gov works. Look at this in this right here. It's telling you for Princeton DPO2 table. If you click on that, it opens it for you in data.census.gov. So that's another way to sort of get in there if you wanted to do that. And it actually filled the filters for you. It put in there, let's just look at those filters. Princeton 2022 5-year data, it already filled it in. So you can go this route if you wanted to get there. So let me just, if I go back, here it is over here. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I got back there. So all these things are here. And then notice up here, you can actually sort of close these or like chapters, and it allows you to kind of to go through and just see what's here as data. And so one thing that's kind of interesting, that's a little bit not too recent, but commuting to work. This is where you find out how many people work from home or what percentage of people work from home. Okay, and it's here if you needed that. So Princeton often 30% people work from home. Okay, so that is here if you wanted that. And so I did sort of promise that I would do an exercise with you. So everybody pull out your phone. I know everybody wants to. I know everybody wants to look at their phone. So let's do this together. If you just go in here and you type in your search in your search engine or whatever, you're going to put in Census Bureau. And so let me see if I can do that holding the microphone and with my thumb. Census Bureau, and we're looking for a narrative profile. Sometimes you have to put narrative profiles. Right, so here it is, and if you click on it, it should open it for you. Get the right one. Okay, so maybe I should do it here. Okay, so when you open the narrative, it should look something like this when you get it on your phone. Did this turn off on me again? Did this, I don't know, it's probably like a AAA battery in there running the microphone. Okay, so you should get something that looks like this when you get the narrative profile. Let me just go back to the screen. So let's just do this, something slightly different that you can do. You can use this use address lookup tool. So go there and I want you to put in any address that you want, the address of your choice, maybe where you live. Okay, and so you can put that in there. Let me put something that I don't even, okay, let me do this. Let me put in my neighbor's address, not my address. Yes. And you can just put in the zip code. You don't necessarily have to put in the town. And you say look up address and it finds a match. So it should, unless you have a really, really new address that you live at, it should find your address or whatever address you put in there. And then once you do that, look at what it does. It tells you what census tract you live in. So I don't know if you've ever looked at the census tract level. It's like a pretty granular piece of data. It's really looking at your neighborhood. And then you can click on that right here. It tells you whatever you want to look at, zip code, whatever it is. And I will just click on the view narrative profile for the census tract. Did everybody get there? Are you okay? Yeah, okay. View the narrative profile. It's loading. Yeah, it takes like 20 seconds, I think, to load, usually. Even longer sometimes. And then you're going to get the information about the area where you live. Okay, and then once again, if you wanted to go through here, you can actually, some of these things you can just click on the DP, whatever the link is down here, and it will open that other table for you. Okay, so is it working for people? Yeah, I mean, I've had sometimes people say it doesn't work for my address. That does happen once in a while. Yeah. But anyway, this is narrative profile. That's just another kind of reminder, refresher for you. I don't think I had anything else. I was just, yeah. So anyway, that's for you. Any questions or concerns or challenges for me?
Can I call you the next time we need to get census data?
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah, yeah. And then we also, I think on that last screen, you had something called Ask Data. So you can also send an email to them, and that's because I could be away on vacation or something. And so we have a few people around the country monitoring an email account and a phone bank. I think it's like 3 people, and if people call in with a problem, we try to sort it out with them and try to get them personalized help with getting data. Yeah.
At the last conference, your counterpart, so Amy was there.
Yep.
Yeah, she with the one that I would call, so I didn't even know about Ask Data. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Noemi's on the presentation today, so she kind of moved to another branch, so she still is helping people, but it's a slightly different thing where she's getting sent around the country.
Just said hi.
Or she said hi. Okay, hi Noemi. And I'm sorry, but we're still in contact all the time. Yeah. So, okay, any other questions? I know maybe we're early. I don't know. We're okay?
And we also had, folks online saying that they were able to successfully get.
Oh, they were. Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so it's just, I know that we're really geospatial information, but I used to have to produce geospatial stuff was here and the verbal stuff was over here, and I had to sort of mix it together sometimes,
Do
so.
you have any idea how they're generated? Is AI being used in that? Is like combing the data for us, or are they pre-canned, or?
The narrative?
Yeah.
I think they're using API somehow to pull pieces of data and just fill it in. Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, but usually when it's anybody who's writing reports and things like that, they prefer the narrative profile. Usually over those, the data.census.gov site. It's just a little bit easier for them. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm done unless, anything else, okay? All right, thank you.
Great job. So I loved the interactive part of that, where you had us all go through our phones, because I have a feeling there's a lot of folks online that did that while you were doing that. So that's very helpful. And that's something to think about for future presentations. As you all know, we love to hear from you. And what I'm going to say now is we have our lightning talks in June. And if any of you, and I know you might have one or two, if any of you would like to open that door now, if you have something that you'd like to send to me, you can send it to me, and we will keep that for June and get the schedule started. It hasn't officially opened yet, and we have a meeting before then. But I know that there's a lot of interest in that, and I just wanted to let everybody know now, get your thinking hats on and think about things that you might like to share. And if so, you can send it to me, Duffy_Matthew@aclink.org. As you've seen from our website and from our different agendas, you can send it to me. Let me know what it is, and I'll get to it. Eliza has a question. We try to keep it about 6 minutes, but it could vary. So last time, as you might remember, we had 16 participants. So it was me up here like, okay, next, okay, next, okay, next. You be quiet. It was like there was no, So if we only had 10, then it could go a little longer. I mean, I practically pulled the cane out on Trish. That I'll never hear the end of. I think she's not here today, but I think she's still upset with me for that. I'm just kidding. I don't think she is. So I wanted to mention that about the lightning talks. I also wanted to mention future presentations. If you have something that you think might go beyond a lightning talk, Craig, you might. Patty from State Police was here last time talking about how she had dashboards and things that she really couldn't share, but here you can. You can't do it on necessarily the map context, but you can here in this forum. We certainly try to accommodate as best as we can. If no one else has anything further, I'm going to just remind you that we are meeting again in March, I believe in this building, but there will be details that come. And to please reach out to us as needed with your geospatial issues.
I have one thing.
Yes.
The time has passed for this year, but just wanted to the general announcement to everyone on
Wait.
a general announcement to everyone on executive committee, like serving on that. Just for everyone to think about that for next year in the fall, if your constituency group is up. It's I've been on for 4 years and I'm currently secretary. It's not a huge time commitment. It's just a couple additional virtual meetings in addition to these meetings. Oh.
Yes, come up.
If you want, yeah, sure.
Come up. So Kalen is our present secretary and this is his last meeting and I want to thank you for all of your
Ah,
dedicated,
thank you.
hard volunteer work. It's a much
Yeah.
appreciated.
It's, serving on the committee is not a huge, time commitment. Like I said, it's, a couple additional meetings, beyond these that are virtual. And it's really just doing the behind the scenes work to put these meetings together and to hear from your constituency groups and get those announcements or concerns or potential task forces, things like that to the broader geospatial community. Also just, it looks good on a resume. It's worth a lot of GISP points. So I would just say to consider it next year when elections roll around, to just think about possibly serving on the exec committee if you have interest and your constituency group has an opening for that year.
Thank you very much. That's a good advertisement and probably a good thing to end on unless there's anything else. So thank you for all those that brought your attention. Eliza, thank you for the impromptu presentation. I appreciate that. I don't think I have anything else, so I look forward to seeing you all back here in March. All right, thank you very much. I need to do anything up here as far as stop share, close out, anything fancy? Yes. That's what I figured, but I didn't want to.